This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Walmart's Newville, time was ticking away. Only a few nights left till the big holiday. But last-minute gifters had no need to worry. Walmart Express Delivery got their gifts in a hurry. From Nintendo to Nespresso and Lego flowers, they could check off their lists in as fast as an hour. All of Newville, East, West, South, and North could order gifts up until 5 p.m. on December 24th. So this holiday, just do as the Who's do. With gift delivery this fast, they all gasped. From Walmart, who knew? Subject to availability, terms and fees apply.
A rough day for the show. I'm just letting you know. My buddy sent me a message. He said, I can't wait to see the show. It's going to be full of hijinks. Think not, my friend.
Not really.
It's been a rough go. Nick, do you want to bang the table for old time's sake? Okay, that's not. It's the first episode. It's not the first. Kind of the first episode in a new era for the show. Oh, gee whiz, Dusty. You didn't have to show this. Mahomes injured. Playoff hopes over. What's next for the Chiefs this year and beyond?
A little too hard.
Meanwhile, Josh Allen, you're not the only one going through it. I don't feel great either.
I'm the only one whose team is rolling.
You know what? No. Misery loves company. We're all going down together.
Rolling.
But was this actually a good loss for Drake May and the Patriots? Well,
no.
Lots of smart people disagree. And finally, a loss for the Colts, but a win for everyone is over 40 years old. What did Phillip Rivers prove in an almost win? And does Nick owe Phillip Rivers an apology?
I'm going to be
yes.
On Friday's show, Coach said he wouldn't do it. Brou said
he's got a game or two left in him.
Nobody thought this was a good idea.
I prayed for him.
And by the way,
Shane Steichen did. They almost won.
He played. He was all right.
He had the lead.
He
threw the ball 20 times
yards,
for 3 yards a pop and
the
a game-losing pick.
What do you want to make tackles?
He threw a pick to lose the game. It didn't work.
He wasn't bad.
Yeah, but that not really.
They got a shot. They're alive.
Okay.
He drove the field for a game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
What?
They're alive.
And then they get a field goal, and then he got the ball back with 11 seconds. What do you want the guy to do? Man, young people. Especially his fellow grandfather.
Okay. Let's spend more time on Rivers.
We start with a rough day in Kansas City.
Don't show this.
Mahomes leading a drive down 3. He tears his ACL on this play. Minshew comes in and looks for Kelsey, but finds Derwin James instead. Chiefs are eliminated from the playoff hunt. Mahomes on social media after the game thanks Chiefs Kingdom for their support and says, quote, I will be back stronger than ever. A lot of emotions and feelings. Nick, which one do you want to start with?
Well, listen, this has been turned into, in relative short order, post-bye, a nightmare season. And this was the nightmare scenario of a nightmare season. And Pat had been dealing with a knee for weeks. He'd been on the injury report the last few weeks. The Chiefs' season were on the line. Even if it wasn't on the line, I don't think he would have missed games. He's the only time he's ever missed a game in his career was when his kneecap got dislocated and he missed 2 weeks. So he was going to play no matter what. But he's been week 1 of the season. We talked about, man, he's taking a lot of hits.
Yep.
He's running a lot. And I understand this is not an injury that feels like it's the accumulation of hits, but I don't think the accumulation of hits helped.
Right.
And so I also, talk a lot about the Brady-Mahomes career comps. And on Friday, I was on your pal, maybe now I can say our pal. You're a good pal and my somewhat pal. Bill Simmons' podcast and said, and I think I've said it on this show before as well, that in year 7, Tom Brady walked onto the field in the Super Bowl trying to win ring 4, and if they won that game, they're the greatest team of all time. And in year 8, he blew out his knee. In year 7, Patrick Mahomes walked on the field in the Super Bowl trying to win ring 4, And if they win that game, they're the greatest team of all time. And on Friday I said, and Patrick didn't blow out his knee, but it looks like the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs. And now he has also blown out his knee. That I guess is a silver lining in that the best version of Tom Brady was post ACL. And, I don't want to reveal much of this here. I'm not sure it's just the ACL in his knee. And I have talked with Patrick in that he is, as the tweet illustrated, gutted, but optimistic that he will be back and as good, if not better than ever. But the only way this season going the way it did, the only silver lining was going to be Patrick got out of it healthy, and Patrick did not get out of it healthy and instead suffered a massive knee injury. It is what it is. I mean, Packer, let me say one other thing quickly. Sorry, Brou, I know I'm kind of rambling. Packer fans today might feel sicker because what Chiefs, this doesn't help Patrick, but what Chiefs fans have is this team didn't have it.
Yep.
They weren't 10-3 like, we were going to win the Super Bowl. That doesn't make I don't think that makes Patrick feel better. But if you're a Packer fan this morning, you might feel even worse, like you did have it. So it's pro football, man. There's injuries and it sucks, and that's part of it. This being the face of the league and one of the greatest players in the history of the league makes it all that much worse.
Well, look, I mean, my pick for the NFC is the Packers, and I'm going to stay on that pick. I still think they're a good team, but obviously without Micah, it's very much an uphill battle. So, we don't want to lose. As we focus on Patrick, obviously another great player in the league was hurt too. But, we joke around a lot on the show, and I like the Chiefs. I love Mahomes. But I would have been looking forward to, if they were missing the playoffs and under normal circumstances, really, having some fun. But the way this went down, I mean, every football fan, I don't care if you're a Buffalo fan, a Ravens fan, whoever, you got to be sick with the way this happened, because not only is it the best player in the league, but I think what this highlights is some things about him that we don't talk about a lot, which is his toughness. Like you said, he was playing with a knee injury, all right? But you heard more, and I get it, Justin Herbert has surgery, but you heard more about his wrist. You heard more about Aaron Rodgers playing with the fracture. You heard more about Lamar, even though we weren't even sure what exactly it is with Lamar. We knew Mahomes had an injury, but I think because he has played through so many, he's played through turf toe, he played through the dislocated kneecap, he's played through the high ankle sprain. We kind of we gotten used to him playing through it. And he was out there, man, his toughness, he was doing everything he could to just get this team in the playoffs. Everything he could, and we talked about it all year. The running that he usually saves for the playoffs, he was doing all season.
It's the only touchdown they scored yesterday.
Yeah, right, scrambling in there. And so
getting lit up.
Him, and you mentioned it lit up. So the toughness is the first thing. I mean, of all the things people think about with Mahomes and his greatness, his toughness should not be, discarded. Sure. All right, that needs to be something thought about. Secondly, you mentioned him getting hit. So last year was his personal high in sacks with 36. This year he had 34 in 14 games. So he was likely going to break his personal high in sacks. So the last 2 years he's been taking way too many hits. This year, this according to Bill Barnwell, he's been hit 153 times. That's sacks and quarterback hits. Only player quarterback that's been hit more is Justin Herbert. Yep. So I think when you look at what this means for the Chiefs going forward, and it's not their fault. Their four tackles, top four tackles got hurt. But they got to try to shore up that offensive line. I think they got to shore up the run game. He hasn't had a legit run game in a while. Yeah, and it's related to the O-line. But if the O-line's healthy, it's probably pretty good. But the run game, you can't just put all this on him. And then what's this mean for Travis Kelce? I think many people would think this might mean
this
he's
was the
going to
last
walk away.
moment of them together.
Yeah, so they got to replace that. So it's just tough for it to go down this way, because even if you didn't want the Chiefs in the playoffs, nobody wanted this.
Where does your worry end? So Mahomes gets hurt, game's over, season's over, playoff hopes over. Is next year? Are you saying that's over?
Listen, no, I'm not saying next year's over.
Okay.
It's season starts 9 months from right now, 8 months and like 25 days ish from right now. I think if there is anything underrated about Patrick Mahomes, I think one of the underrated things about him is what a competitor he is.
Yes.
And his potential unhealthy thirst to be the greatest in the moment and potentially all time. So I think he will attack the rehab in a way that, again, a surgery has to happen. The surgery has to be done right. There are things beyond one's control to where his plan will be to be available week 1 of next season. Now, does that mean next season is a lost year? I don't know. It depends on the player. It depends on the injury. Quarterback, Adrian Peterson blew out his knee, had his greatest season ever the following year. Brady blew out his knee, had his worst season as a veteran the following year.
And it was early.
Right. Right.
He had more time to come
he
back,
blew out his knee against the Chiefs in week 1.
Yeah.
This was week 15. But still, it was still the worst year. So I don't know how to judge that. What I am ready to say is this. This is the end of this chapter. And you can put these 7 years up against the 7 years prior to this one, up against any 7 years in NFL history.
Oh, yeah.
It's 7 years, it's 7 conference title appearances, it's 5 Super Bowl appearances, it's 3 rings. In a 7-year stretch, only the Steelers have more rings in a 7-year stretch.
But Bradshaw isn't as good in
Right. But I mean for the team, because I think this is the chapter for a team. Like, the Chiefs are now going to be entering a new era.
Yeah.
Now,
Starting fresh on a dynasty, or if something does happen.
Well, they could extend it.
They can extend it.
But this is a line.
This is a line. This is a line.
It's going to be a new regime to some degree.
Right. And so, listen, Andy will still be there next year, I believe, and the year after. But at some point in this, there'll be a new coach. Travis, either yesterday was the last game with Travis and Patrick together, or next year will be. They also, I think, and again, I'm searching for silver linings. Mm-hmm. I think the next few weeks are going to force the team to hold a mirror up to how much 15 was holding together. Because I believe they are going to lose to the Tennessee Titans next week. I believe that with this offense, I think the combination of the offensive line injuries, the deflation of we've played nothing but the biggest games imaginable, to now we've got meaningless games, to the drop-off from Patrick to Minshew, like all of that will come together on the road in Tennessee, that's a game they lose. And here is the reality about the 2025 Chiefs that you hope they recognize for the 2026 Chiefs. They weren't good enough at anything. They had moments. There were moments and there were flashes, and because of the pedigree, I believed more than anyone. Mm-hmm. But after the bye, they played poorly every single week.
Yeah.
They got one win. They were down 11 entering the fourth quarter of that win against the Colts. They played poorly every single week. And I think that in this game, I woke up yesterday morning like, beat the Chargers. Colts are going to get cooked. The playoff scenario that I had laid out is going to be in play. And when with 40 seconds left in the first half, you let the Chargers march the field to score a touchdown, I'm like, yeah, they don't have it this year.
Yep.
They just don't have it. And so you hope that, Brou, the long offseason, what might end up being the 10th pick, the third place schedule, all of those things, like next year the Chiefs will play the Colts, either the Bengals or the Browns, either the Falcons or the Saints, plus Arizona, the Jets, Miami, and a couple games against, maybe they'll be good next year, the Raiders. And so, there are things, and I do think they've rebuilt the offensive line. It just got crushed by injuries. They need their young receivers to develop in a way I thought they were going to this year. And they need, and this is also, and I'm curious your take on this, I wonder how Patrick attacks a season where he's not quite as mobile and what that does to his game, and I think that could be a positive.
Yeah, and how the team is built.
And how the team, I think that there could be long-term positives too. A season or half a season next year where Patrick's like, man, I have to stay in the pocket. I have to play like this. That can be beneficial long term.
He's rarely had to play that way.
Correct.
Not just the scrambling, but actually just extending plays where he threw the football.
Exactly.
So it'll be interesting.
For what it's worth, I tried to find some sort of precedent, and obviously everybody's different. Kyler tore his ACL December 12th. He had surgery January 4th. He came back November 12th.
Yeah.
So 335 days. For Mahomes, that would be November 14th next year. And I know you say like week one, big difference between week one and mid-November.
Well, if he comes back in mid-November, the Chiefs.
Well, they definitely shouldn't rush him back.
They won't.
Don't
He has not yet had the surgery. He's getting a second opinion today in Dallas. I am going to go ahead and put whatever little bit of money I have left after losing all these Chiefs bets on Patrick Mahomes is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs Week 1 starter next year because of the player, because of the way I think he is going to treat this offseason and this rehab. There's a lot of stuff there. And it's the face of the league went down. And to your point, Brou, you could argue the best player over the last half decade and the best or second best defensive player over the last half decade both went down within a couple hours of each other to torn ACLs.
Oof. All right, moving on to the Ravens. Baltimore shut out Joe Burrow and the Bengals to get to 500. Lamar completed 8 passes, Brou, 2 for touchdowns. Ravens' offensive point total helped by a Joe Burrow pick 6. Here was Lamar on getting back to his old healthy self. Take a listen.
I felt good. I felt like we taking a step in the right direction, but still we need to finish in the red zone.
When you watch your defense do what it did, what does that make you feel?
That's Raven football right there. That's Raven defense that I'm used to seeing. You know, I'm accustomed to seeing. But there's always room for improvement. Our guys put a shutout today. We just got to keep going, stay locked in, stay focused.
Brewer, your Ravens back.
Well, out of respect for Nick, I won't say it with too much gusto, but the box. I could have really said it a lot harder, but
Brou,
the box.
Brou, don't spare me anything, please.
Teammate.
All I have now
I'm the
left.
only one on the team on the show who's winning. The Patriots went down.
He's talking about Week 15.
Just right. I'm in the present.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't think I'd be bringing out the robe anytime soon, and I'm not getting too high because I need the break dancers. They probably don't like me because I called them break dancers, the Dolphins, but I need them to do me a favor tonight.
You think?
And beat the Steelers. All right? They can. They've been playing well, Dolphins. So they need to beat the Steelers.
Are you putting this on?
No, I'm just going to hang it up. It's musty. It's been down in the basement.
Down in that basement.
I'm going to hang it up and get it ready because if Pittsburgh loses tonight. And then they got your Patriots next week. Favored.
You're favored.
The Ravens are favored?
Correct.
Yeah.
Really?
Exactly.
Shocking.
And how
that is shocking.
Okay, then why are you making fun of me?
No, I'm shocked that they're favored.
Yeah.
I don't think it helps the Ravens. I think they can definitely beat the Patriots, but I don't think it helps them that the Patriots are going to be coming off a loss. I think that, I think they're kind of due for a loss, you guys. But look, the defense, some of that was maybe Burrow is despondent and who knows where his head is at because after the game he talked about, he just didn't sound like he was really into it. He may be checked out right now. But still, a shutout in the NFL is a shutout in the NFL. And that defense played well. I thought Nick Lamar, he looked good. No, I thought he looked good. He only ran twice, but that was a positive sign.
Completed 8 passes, bro.
He only threw 12.
I know. That's right.
But the passing was good. He had 2 touchdowns. 2 of his 8 completions were touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And one of them, the interception, Zay Flowers just, hit him in the freaking chest. Yeah, just dropped the ball. And so I thought Lamar threw the ball well. He obviously broke out of his 5-game slump. He had a 114 passer rating. So I thought the run game for the second straight week, last week Derrick Henry 94 yards, this week 100 yards on just 9 carries. The other, rest of the running game was strong too, Keaton Mitchell. So I look, again, I don't know where the Bengals' head's at, but I thought it was one of their better performances in a long time. And friend of the show, Kyle Van Noy, I like the unselfishness to let his man take it to the house.
So I thought it was a great game, obviously, by the Ravens defense. And overall, this is the most complete game they've played this season that Lamar's starting. The only game that comes close to this is the Bears game, but Lamar didn't play. But and again, Ravens fans can be mad at me. It's fine. I did not think this was like, Lamar's back. They dropped back to pass 16 times. He was sacked 4 of them. He threw a pick. Like you said, the pick was bad luck, but that's the passing, whatever it is. They had 8 completions against what I believe to be a not impressive Bengals defense, KW. I know that.
But you say theoretically 17 points.
Okay, sure. And so, to me, this game was about Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
I agree.
And it did not, to me, confirm the Ravens are back to being a scary team. The Ravens are back on track because we had been all year taking almost for granted if the defense gets right, they're going to have this potent, scary offense. And I just feel like we still haven't seen it. Absent the pick 6, Brou, they score 17 points on offense.
But you don't think Lamar played well?
No, I don't think
he was vintage Lamar, but I thought he played well.
No, listen, I don't think Lamar played poorly. Let me make that clear. And it certainly was the best game he's had since his first game back from injury.
Right.
But it wasn't a game where I'm like, okay, that slump is over. And so it's just a weird stat line. 8 for 12 for $150, along with 4 sacks. He ran the ball twice.
26
and
yards.
So I feel like I will take Baltimore seriously if they win next week. And if they don't win next week, there's a very real chance that their Week 18 game against Pittsburgh doesn't matter. Because if Baltimore loses next week, we can be in a situation where Pittsburgh can if Baltimore loses New England and Green Bay, then Pittsburgh would just need to beat Miami and Cleveland. They can even lose to Detroit, and the Week 18 game won't matter. And I didn't see anything from the Ravens yesterday that made me feel like they are ready to play in the contender class, which is where New England's supposed to be and where Green Bay has been.
I like the commitment, though, to the run. Like, I've been saying all week, if Lamar is struggling, run the football. Because they have a good run game. They always have a good run game. And so I thought they did that yesterday. So, get a balance. I mean, I hear you. I'm not shouting from the rooftops that they're back. But here's my hope. We've seen them have tremendous regular seasons and then fizzle out eventually in the playoffs. I'm hoping that this adversity, they got to obviously get in the playoffs, but this adversity that they've gone through, it will still get them ready for the playoffs. And look, if I'm them, and I know you don't, you feel like you can beat anybody as a professional football player. But Lamar himself said the Chiefs were his kryptonite. Now, I know he's walked it back, but they're gone. And so if you're a Raven, you got to be like, look, let us get in here and make a run.
And I also might be, this was also a very weird game because I know there were a bunch of games going on at 1 o'clock, so I don't know how locked in people were. The Bengals had the ball for 40 minutes. The Ravens had the ball for 20, which is why the Ravens, you mentioned they ran the ball well. They ran it at a great clip for 189 at 8 yards a carry. They only had 24 rushes. They only had 12 passes. They had 4 sacks. They had like 40 offensive plays in total. So maybe that is...
They were scoring a little quicker.
Right. They were scoring quicker, and then the Bengals were having these drives. Burrow turns it over. To me, if we didn't have, the teams that we focus on because there are picks or whatever, the biggest national story coming out of this game is whatever fire was going on about the Bengals and Joe Burrow, to me, Wilds, it got bigger.
Yeah.
Because now he took full accountability and said a dozen times, everyone would have lost with me playing that way. That was on me. It was on me. But when during the week he's like, if I want to keep playing, and then on Sunday, in an elimination game for them, he plays as poorly as I've ever seen him play as a pro.
First time he's ever been shut out.
Yeah, right. And it was directly related to his mistakes. That, to me, was concerning.
Yeah. Was that a good loss for the Patriots?
Nobody thinks so.
Some people were predicting that, and their wishes came true. That's next on FS1, the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM. You have a red mark on your head. We should have put a little padding there. Magic of television.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just
speaking into the void?
But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Check out the podcast if you get a chance, and our YouTube channel is 40 million views away from 1 billion views. I know it seems like a lot, but we're averaging about 5 million views per week.
Per week, but that would put us, to be fair, right up against it with what everybody knows, Gianna's job on the line, a billion views by the kickoff of the Super Bowl. We're going to have the countdown. We might do a view-a-thon like we did that subscribe-a-thon that one time.
Smart.
Yeah.
So subscribe if you get a chance. Patriots, we're up 21-0. Get the T-shirts and hats ready. Actually don't. Josh Allen and the Bills scored 5 consecutive touchdowns. And trust me when I tell you, Josh Allen wasn't the only one puking in the second half. Patriots had 18 offensive snaps after the break. Granted, 1 was a touchdown. So that was nice. Here's Stephon Diggs.
Hell no. I mean, it's been a while since we lost, but I wouldn't say we forgot at all. But it's definitely something you never know. We probably needed it. It's good for us. It's kind of said in the beginning of the year, lessons. If you don't learn nothing from it, then obviously you're lost. But it's a lesson for sure that you're going to have to keep that foot on the gas.
Thank you. Greg Jennings is here. Does anyone else agree with Stephon Diggs that the loss was actually good?
Absolutely not. Maybe I would if we weren't one Pats game removed from discussing them as a dynasty and demanding
elements
that they be considered the cream of the crop in the AFC. The team that can make the Super Bowl from this conference. Had we been treating the Pats all year the way that I think Stephon almost is, which is, this is a great year to build on, then they'd be fine. But they have been, by force of your own personality, thrust into the waters of contender. And if you are playing to stay alive for the number 1 seed, of which they are now mostly dead in. Your favorite athletic playoff predictor says they have a 3-time greater chance of losing the division than getting the 1 seed.
Because the Broncos look so good.
And so they win your division, lock that up, and announce yourself as a real contender, and you're up 21-0 in your building. Losing that game is devastating. And it was not because, as you explained it all week, listen, if Josh Allen goes sicko mode, nothing anybody can do. Josh Allen had a very
close to sicko mode.
Buddy, how many yards
And
he had?
Travis Scott was in the building.
Buddy, he had 190 passing yards.
No, that dude was being a sicko.
That is
I think
a very typical
he was in double
Josh Allen
figures
game.
for the first half.
That was a very regular Josh Allen game. And you guys got walked down from 21-0. That was an awful loss given how it played out and what it does to your guys' ability to be the 1 seed, lock up your division, and go on a playoff run.
We probably lost the 1 seed. I'm okay with it. Lose the battle, win the war.
What war did you win?
Learning, the most important thing in the world. So here's how we learned, or here's why I think it was good. First of all, Stephon Diggs said it was a good learning experience. Christian Ellis said it was a good learning experience. And Vrabel said it was a good learning experience. And me. And I think, Greg, I'm going to throw the ball.
What are they going to say? They're going to be like,
right,
we're crushed?
exactly.
Like, what?
Yeah, you
can't lose that way.
Yes, you can.
Yes, we head into the playoffs. That's what
you can easily say we did a lot of things wrong, but it was consistent. Hey, we haven't lost in 80-something days. We had 10 straight wins, so that's good. Number one, Drake May has still never had a fourth quarter comeback. He gets a little more experience. Granted, this whole run
he's still never had a fourth quarter.
I know. He's gotten, but we've lost. He's like the Titans was last year, but we lost in overtime. We haven't even been down in the fourth quarter, so he hasn't had the opportunity. So that's good. He gets a little more experience. 2, we have a huge red flashing warning sign that finally needs to be sort of paid attention to. Dusty, can we show our red zone defense? This is frankly horrible. So it's very strange, Greg. We don't really let you get into the red zone, but if you do, you're going to score a touchdown. So I don't know how it can be addressed schematically, but it's the biggest flaw, biggest fly in the ointment of the Patriots' success. And finally, we're due for a loss. I told you. We need to get this loss kind of out, get everybody refocused in the playoffs. I don't think anyone's...
So you think Broncos fans should be crestfallen today?
No.
Because they're in the exact same spot, the exact same winning streak, exact same part of the team, and they beat a real contender.
They did.
And so they should feel badly?
I would rather have won the game, but I'm not destroyed with a loss that we lost by... We split the series with the mighty Buffalo Bills. We lost by 4 points, a few pass interferences here or there. You told me we couldn't run the ball. How did that go?
I didn't tell you.
You told me, I said we can run the ball. We choose not to. We ran the ball.
You ran the ball great to the tune of a loss.
Yeah, but it's something that's not an issue.
Well, first of all, Wilds, I don't get the logic of Drake got a chance to lead a fourth quarter comeback when he didn't lead the fourth quarter comeback.
He got a chance. But you agree with the idea that he has to go through. Your whole thing about the Ravens is have some adversity and maybe they pop in the playoffs. I don't want to go 7-7, but I don't mind going 11-3.
Well, I would agree. A loss in and of itself doesn't kill you. The things I didn't like about yesterday is, number one, Nick pointed it out, you're not going to get the 1 seed most likely. That would be huge. And this is the year. It's not about, I get building, because if you guys lose in the first round, whatever, you'll still go into next season with optimism. But it's wide open now. Bo Nix doesn't have much playoff experience either. Trevor Lawrence, it is wide open. They should be thinking, win the Super Bowl this year. Look at Washington. We thought they were rolling, right? Now they're not even in the playoffs. It is a year-to-year league in a lot of ways now. So that's number one. Now you may be looking at this Bills team or Houston in the first round.
I would love to play this Bills team a third time.
Okay.
I would love it.
I bet you'd love a bye more, though.
Sure.
So that's
if we don't
number
get the bye, fine. But that is like a.
And then I didn't like the way it happened.
Problems.
You're up. When you guys, I'm going to give you something. When you were up 21-0, I'm sitting there thinking,
yeah,
they look like the best team in football. Like
so
they
was
could
Wilds.
win this thing.
Wilds was sending memes
you
out.
Can't
Had
help
his son record and make videos.
I felt good until I saw there was a stat panel that Josh Allen had negative passing yards. I said, ooh, that's not going to last all game. So I started to get nervous.
Yeah, this was a good loss in the sense of
let's
now
go Super Bowl champion Greg Jennings.
Mike Vrabel has their attention. Like, you guys can miss me with the number 1 seed stuff. Like, it's great. Don't get me wrong. That's a goal for every team. But just because you don't achieve that, so what? We're going to be in the dance. We got a chance to do something special. That's going to be the mentality of this team. But it's a good loss because when you continuously win, and there's very few times when you have an approach of when you're preparing as a team, and this is a very well-prepared team, that you're always going to be looking at it from a way of how can we improve, or how can we not make this same mistake, and all those things. Because naturally, when you're having success, you're looking at how can we impose our will on them the same way we did last week on that last team, in the same way we've done for the last 10
that's why
weeks.
we're doing trick plays.
So your approach is slightly different. I'm not saying that they haven't been taking it seriously, because I believe that they have. But when you lose to a division foe, you're up 21-zip. Now your coach, the messaging is going to hit home, because you saw all the high fives, the smiling. It was like the game was over in the first half for a lot of those Patriots guys. And one thing we know about this game as players, you don't assume it's over. You ensure the job is done to make it over. And that's what happened in this game. So now Mike Vrabel can just say, guys, we got to learn to finish. When we get in these positions, we must finish. What better time than at the end of the season, when the season is winding down and every team is harping on finishing. How we finish matters. They are 11-3. They can afford a loss like this. It's not a terrible loss, because in their mind, and when they're sitting in those meeting rooms today, they feel like we let one get away. And they truly did.
Before we move on to the Bills, I just want to.
Yes, absolutely.
Hold on. Walked down.
I just want to make sure I understand if we're because there's a difference between there being positive things to take from a loss, and a loss being good. So I just want to make sure that I understand what Wilds and Greg are saying.
Sure.
What you guys are saying is, up 21-0. It's better what happened than if you had just held the lead and won.
No. What we're saying is, a win would be excellent, but a loss is good.
So no.
What I'm saying
That's
is,
what I'm saying.
So
we can live with a loss, and we'll learn.
So nothing. So
yes,
I
I would say that.
I'm
not.
Okay.
Obviously, wasn't sitting there with a Bills hat on. I would prefer to win, but it's the way we lost. We didn't turn the ball over a bunch of times.
That's what would make me more nervous, to be honest.
That we didn't turn the ball over?
They walked you down.
Right. That they just flatly said they spotted you 21.
Right.
Yes.
Josh did not do anything crazy.
I totally disagree with you on that. Josh Allen was MVP mode.
He played well.
Listen,
he definitely played
Josh
well.
Allen was you said that if Josh Allen goes, what were we calling it last week? Superhero mode. I consider a 240 total yard, 3 touchdown game from Josh Allen, shy of his superhero mode. And so I thought, obviously Josh Allen was really good. But it was right. But in the totality of the game, like you said, he had negative passing yards early. Totality of the game, that was like an A- overall Josh Allen game. And you didn't turn the ball over. And they beat you, or you did actually. The one turnover you had, you liked too.
But
they just, to me, showed we're better than you guys. And that's what would concern me, is that it didn't take anything crazy. It wasn't something aberrant. It was, they returned a kick and we had a tipped pass turnover and we fumbled it in going into the end zone.
Oh, I like that.
Instead, it was just, they just lined up and beat you. That's what would worry me.
And you know what? It's good to study tape on that. Why it was good. Meanwhile, for the Bills, they get their 10th win and pop up to 3rd in the Super Bowl odds. Here's the list. Rams, Seahawks, Bills tied with the Broncos. Eagles, now look at the Texans surging. Yeah. And then the Packers tied.
Why can't we make
Patriots.
it 9 deep?
Why?
Jags.
Jags 9?
Oh, the Rams.
I mean,
17-1.
That's your new go-to now.
What are you new go-to?
The Jets, I don't know.
He conveniently forgets how he dumped the Prince.
I never dumped it, but go ahead.
Greg, you want to start? Do you finally believe the Bills can win the Super Bowl?
Of course. Absolutely. This is a team, again, that I picked to represent the AFC. And when you have not only the biggest X factor, but the most clutch X factor remaining that will be in the postseason, both NFC and AFC, in Josh Allen, why not? We just saw what he was able to do last night or yesterday in that game in that second half. That is why this team is a threat to every team and any team that they come up against, because of what they have, which is the advantage we all deem the most important position in football at quarterback, Josh Allen. When you go into a game and you feel like you have the best quarterback and he's that type of an X factor and he's that type of a clutch performer, and you look across the board and you're gonna have Bo Nix in the postseason, you're gonna have Drake May in the postseason, you're gonna have potentially an old Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson, who we know struggles to perform in the postseason. Like
Trevor,
Exactly.
Potentially,
Exactly.
obviously, CJ. Like, you feel like in the AFC, we definitely have the best quarterback in these against any of these teams. In the NFC, they have Stafford and obviously Hurts and those guys.
They feel good about
it.
They feel good about it.
Yes. Because you have the most important position, we got the best player remaining. Yes, this team is just fine.
No, I agree with everything you said, to the point where if they don't at least get to the Super Bowl, and if they get there and lose, they're going to be sick anyway. But if they don't win the AFC, they should be sick. And I'm not saying it's the Bills up here and everybody down here. I'm just saying you've been knocking on the door forever, and the guy that's kept you out is no longer there. And even if the Ravens get in and Lamar's cooking, they've beaten the Ravens in the playoffs. So they should. This, as much as I would love this to be Lamar's year, and I'll hold out hope for that, but Josh Allen has been better in the playoffs than Lamar. This should be his year. And if they don't get to the Super Bowl this year, they should feel sick. With all due respect to Drake and the Patriots, who are very good, the Bills got to do it this year.
Go ahead, KW.
I'm not trying to be a troll. Record this season when trailing by more than 10 points. They were down huge to the Ravens. They were down huge to the Patriots. They were down 10 to the Bengals. The Broncos are 2-0. The Bills are 3-2. The rest of the NFL is 12-138-1. So to me, now you can say that, hey, you know what? That's the magic of Josh Allen. Sure, but I don't know if this is a recipe for success in a lose and you're out game. I'll give you one more thing, and then I'll let you go. This is a tweet from Brent Coleman. The Bills have allowed 185 yards rushing 6 times this season, and they're 4-2 in those games. You can just gash the Bills on the ground.
And that's what's scary. Them. You guys ran for 250.
We scored 31 points.
Yeah, and
so
lost.
If Josh puts on his cape, that will win. But that's the only option.
But you keep saying that.
He's put on his cape a lot.
James Cook is going to win the rushing title this year, right? James Cook is going to have 1,600 yards rushing this year. They can win by Josh Allen putting on his cape. They can also win by Josh Allen doing what he did yesterday, which is having the cape on for about a quarter and a half, and James Cook and other things being it.
It was still Josh on those third downs.
Yes, listen.
Having the
superstar quarterback is the reason people believe in the Bills. But 15 minutes ago, you in passing called the Bills a very good team. Is that now what you think?
They are an excellent team.
Okay,
so they get gashed on the ground.
But that means
they are going to run into a team where Josh has a slightly off game, or if the pass interference goes one way, and it's like, man, what happened to the Bills? And they'll be in their postseason said, obviously we can't stop the run, and it doomed us.
It's a small margins league, but our wildly popular, very well done by Gianna walk-in videos a week ago.
Yeah.
You were bellowing the Bills are not good. So now do you believe?
About
no,
that.
I'm not trying to.
I have said everything from they're excellent to they're very good to they're okay to they stink. So pick one.
No. I know that sounded like I was being a jerk. I really didn't mean it to. The point that I'm trying to get to is this. Last week when we argued about it, I think you had them 4th in your AFC hierarchy. I said we named them down. Now that you have seen them do that to New England, do you think, it seemed like prior to this game, you would have been shocked if they went to the Super Bowl?
No, I think they can Luka Doncic their way to the Super Bowl.
Okay, I swear to God, I'm not trying to like.
I know, I do not think that is a recipe for success, but it can get you to the Super Bowl.
So you don't think they can win the Super Bowl?
But when they lose, it's going to be because a team runs for 200 yards, controls the clock, and one play goes the other way, and Josh can't do enough.
But who isn't susceptible to something like that, is my question.
The Texans?
Oh, Hilton stay, oh, Hilton stay. Your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, oh, Hilton stay. A holiday you're saving.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. This season, enjoy spacious, comfortable rooms and friendly service when you book with Hilton instead. Hilton for the stay.
Terrible night for the Packers. Micah tears his ACL. He's out for the year. Packers lose and drop to 9-4-1. Micah was leading the league in pressure percentage, and was tied for third with 12.5 sacks. Greg, we'll start with you. Are the Packers' Super Bowl hopes over with Micah's injury? And obviously, your thoughts on Micah.
They're not over. I'll start with that. They're not over, and I had this team winning it. But the level of confidence and belief that I have, losing a guy like Micah definitely diminishes that.
Yeah.
Like it knocks that down pretty drastically. And the reason being is because not just because of, man, you lost a big time player, but the impact that he has both on offense and defense. Because you afford, when you have a player like that, and you know he's going to impact the game, you obviously become better as a whole defensively, and you can be without Wyatt, Vaness, all these other pieces. You lose a guy like that, you're going to see the impact of being without Wyatt, Vaness, and all these other pieces. Offensively, you have to now score because you know you're going to give up a lot more. And so the pressure now is going to be on that offense to produce, and Christian Watson, once he got hurt, before Micah, they started to spiral offensively. They couldn't put up the numbers and be productive offensively. But just the overall impact of just a player like that going down, it hits the locker room like a load of bricks.
Oof.
I mean, Rashawn Gary, and I got some sound I'm going to play later, but Rashawn Gary, when he was asked about Micah, his response for the first 15 seconds of the question, he head down and he just like 3 times. Like, it's so deflating when you lose a guy like this. And we had a lot of injuries the year we ended up winning it. But I can only imagine if we had lost Charles Woodson before we got to the postseason, not in the Super Bowl. Just so deflating. And I feel sorry for those guys, but as Matt LaFleur alluded to, nobody across the league is going to feel sorry for them. And they still have enough to make it into the playoffs. The deep run is going to solely rely on what Jordan Love can do.
Yeah.
Taking nothing away from the Broncos, I thought you saw them deflated yesterday in the game. Like, I thought once Micah got hurt, you could tell it was serious.
Absolutely.
That you could see, like, they lost something. I think
also
there's a great chance they would have won that game.
Literally and figuratively, you could see it on the field.
Oh, yeah. And Rashawn probably, I mean, he probably felt it yesterday, but the attention now he's going to get that he hasn't been getting and he's excelled against without Micah being there. I think with Micah on paper, you would say if everybody plays their best game, Green Bay can win it or will win it. Right, if they were fully healthy. Now, I still think they have a chance because they were a good team, in my opinion, before they traded for Micah. And I gave them a shot. But they're not the best team on paper anymore. And that defensive backfield, remember, before the Micah trade, that was a concern, how they covered. Once they got him, they didn't have to guard for as long. So, it changed everything for the defense. Offensively, you mentioned Christian Watson. That's huge that it appears that it's not that serious of an injury, and he might even play next week. Because his spreading the field, like his deep threat. I think that you've seen Josh Jacobs be great the last few weeks with Watson there. I think it opens. That's, to me, if Watson was out too, I would really be concerned and probably think they don't have a shot. I think having Watson back, J-Lo's going to have to be awesome. He wasn't yesterday, but I still think they have a shot. Because there's no world beater in the whole league, I don't think.
So before I answer the question, I just want to say something about Micah. Because he's the first player in NFL history to have 12.5 sacks in each of his first 5 years. In my opinion, either he or Myles Garrett has been the best defensive player of the 2020s. I also think he's been a great personality. I know that, at times his personality has been, used against him to a degree as far as the distractions or whatever, but I think it's great to have him in the league. Mm-hmm. And I feel sick for him. And I also think for a guy with his athleticism and his bend and his quickness, the ACL and the way it impacts him moving forward is probably a little different than for Patrick. Neither of it's good, but you're anxious for him. It also is why he wanted to get paid this year and not play on a one-year deal. That's why for football players, there is no... just kick it down the can another year. Now, listen, he's so great, he'd have gotten paid even if this had happened, but it's probably not the same amount. So there's that. Now that I've said that, let me say this. I believe they're done. If they have lost their second and third most important players on their team, the quarterback's the most, Micah Parsons, Tucker Kraft. If 4 years ago, in the final, with a month left in the season, the Chiefs lost Travis Kelce and Chris Jones, they'd be done. And that is, and I understand that it's not apples to apples, but just great tight end is your best weapon, amazing front seven, disruptor pass rusher. So I don't think they can overcome those losses. I think to a degree, it's like the Lions last year, we just got too hurt. And I understand the Lions, it was a bunch of defensive players, but this is, to me, your best offensive weapon, your best defensive weapon, lost in quick succession. I think they're done.
At Chicago next week. What does the future look like in Kansas City? That's next on First Things First.
This episode is brought to you by McAfee.
Yes! Playoff tickets! Just need to click here and... Wait, what? Fake site? Good thing McAfee threw the red flag. That would have been $400 gone.
McAfee blocks risky sites so you don't pay for seats and other things that don't exist. Plans start at just $39.99 for your first year. That's cheaper than parking on game day. Learn more at McAfee.com/online protection.
Live from New York. It's a show that's not that enthusiastic, and it's permeated throughout the entire show.
I'm doing my best, man. Lil Wayne just texted, said that I need to get it together.
You do.
I'm doing my best.
Deal with it.
Wow, I like that.
I like that. Bro.
Believe in Gardner Minshew.
No, I'm not doing that.
Your quarterback.
It's
your guy now.
No, I'm now. This is the first time in my adult life I'm in this spot in the Andy Reid era. Rooting for losses.
We don't care.
Rooting for losses.
Second hour, First Things First. Today,
let's go Titans.
Did the Bills expose the Patriots? Maybe. Meanwhile, Cowboys playoff dreams done. I wrote this, but I'm not necessarily saying it. A final grade this season for the Cowboys. Are you continuing a non-play, just a random?
That's a good question. I haven't thought that far. I have a grade. I'm actually going to do you a solid when I give them the grade.
Excellent, thank you.
Because it was a tough loss for me.
For me?
Yeah. I mean, with the Patriots.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Cowboys grade, but I appreciate that. Okay. We're headed to Kansas City right now, where the Chiefs' season ended in the worst way. Mahomes tears his ACL. Chiefs eliminated from making the playoffs. Patrick thanking fans for their support after the game and writing, "I will be back stronger than ever" on his Twitter. Nick, what does this mean for the Chiefs moving forward?
Well, listen, you regather yourself. The next 3 games should be you play as many young guys as you can. You let Travis decide what he wants to do. And
you think he could shut it down totally?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm not certain Travis is retiring. I just want to make that clear.
I like that.
I'm not I think the reason that no one has reported whether or not he is I don't think he is certain yet. And I don't know how yesterday and the way this season has gone in played into it. And, his brother was thinking about retirement, played in the Super Bowl, lost it, came back the next year for one last run, had the supernatural funk as the ending, and that was it. So, I don't know if they're going to line up like that or if he's going to try to come back one more time. What I do know is that this season, even if Patrick hadn't gotten hurt, there were some obvious issues with the team that were shown post-bye that before the bye, they had done a good job papering over and had some really nice and dominant performances. But they do not have a consistent pass rush, and they have spent less resources on the running back position than any team in the league, and it's shown up. And so now you're going to have like the 10th pick of the draft, and you are going to have that pick in every round thereafter. And so they need to address those things, and then obviously hope that Patrick is healthy and available by week 1. I know that is his hope and his plan, but he hasn't, he's getting a second opinion on his surgery today and hasn't had the surgery yet, so you'll see. I also think this, Greg, this is the end of a chapter, but not the end of the book. But this run of the NFL being easy is over. And now maybe they get there again one day, but the 7 years, 7 conference title games, 5 Super Bowl appearances, 3 rings, 0 bad seasons. It's just not how football has ever been for any team before.
Yeah.
And the Patriots from 11 to 18 had that run where 8 straight conference championship games. It's the only thing close to it, and the only thing that outstrips it. And so now they regroup and hopefully I do think that how they look these final 3 weeks without Patrick will give them a real reality check of how many of their issues he was able to paper over that are not going to be able to be papered over the final 5th of the season.
Yeah, for me, going forward, this has obviously major impacts, and I believe we might see them miss the playoffs for 2 consecutive years. And that's obviously if Patrick isn't back.
If he's not back week 1.
If he's not back and he's not ready to go first quarter of the season, we already seen the struggles. You talk about the things that they need to address. Because you lose that voice, that player, that type of an impact, obviously at that position, you don't prepare for that. There's no way you can prepare for that and supplement what he is and what he has been with what you've lacked. And they've lacked a lot. And they've been able to get away with it because of all that he is. And without Patrick Mahomes, this team is going to struggle. And I think to kind of maybe this might benefit them because now they're going to have to address some resources that otherwise, if Patrick Mahomes is healthy, even in the losing season where they don't make the postseason, you don't really go as hard of addressing skill positions that might support Patrick Mahomes. But because he is injured and it is an ACL, and even when he does get back, you're not going to want to thrust him back in and say, Patrick, do it all over again, be the everything that we've always expected you to be. You're going to have to support him in a different type of way, not just with the offensive line, but with those weapons in the backfield, being able to have the running game. And you're going to definitely have to find another pass rusher because I think Chris Jones, it's about over.
See, can I? Wow. So I don't.
I really do.
Wow.
I really believe it's about over. I don't know that the drive is there anymore. He's still a really good player, but I don't know if he'll ever match what we saw.
Oh, I think he might. I think the best years might be behind him, but he still has some very high quality years left. What I would say, Brou, is even if you were going to get, this is 2024, 2022 Chris Jones next year, you still need another pass rusher.
Oh, yeah.
You definitely
know what I mean? Right. They need to be able to generate pressure on the quarterback without sending a blitz, which they flatly have not been able to do at any point this season.
No, I agree with that. And, Greg, you brought up maybe they miss the playoffs next year if Mahomes doesn't come back for game one or whatever. Even if Mahomes is back, it's on the board that they could miss the playoffs because, I mean, they were 6-8 with him this year, you know, and so they're going to have to, I think they've won certainly last year. This year, obviously, they didn't win a ton of games, but some of those games, there still was a little bit of a mystique there, particularly earlier in the season. That's gone. And I brought up Lamar and the Ravens earlier, and the Chiefs definitely seem to be in their head. But these teams coming up, they're not in Bo Nick's head. They're not in Justin Herbert's head now. I don't know if they've ever been in Josh Allen's head, but my point is the quarterbacks coming up now, like that Chiefs mystique is gone. They're going to have to rebuild it because, like you said, this is probably the end of that iteration of the dynasty should they continue it. I also think, Greg, and I brought up last week, I mean, it might sound bizarre to people, but I think they might want to look at trying to get Eric Bieniemy back as offensive coordinator. Because if you look at Mahomes with and without Bieniemy, that has been the line of demarcation where Mahomes was doing the incredible things he was doing to not doing those things. I mean, you see it with Bieniemy, and now Bieniemy's the running backs coach for the Bears. That running game was 25th in the league last year. It's second in the league now. I don't know if we remember all the talk about him being a head coach. I don't know him at all. I don't know if he didn't have the demeanor for that. But as an offensive coach, that dude is awesome. And so I think they might want to look at that as well.
Nick, to speak on Brou's mystique, I forgot, from ESPN. 28 days ago, entering Week 11, they were favored to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's shocking.
He thought it was inevitable. Remember, there was a point it was just like
they're just the best.
They're going to definitely win the AFC.
When he comes back, whenever, that's what you think is gone. It's not like, well, if Mahomes gets in the dance, or is it still going to be like, again, another cross-sport thing? Like, you know, the Cavs aren't that good with LeBron, but if he gets in there, he'll be in the finals.
No, I think that the next time Patrick Mahomes takes the field in the AFC playoffs, he's the favorite in the AFC playoffs. I do feel that way. Yes.
Even if the teams, like, let's say they get in as a wild card. This year, because we hadn't seen them go 6-8.
Right, but we still haven't seen, we had seen Chiefs teams be not like this, but 2 years ago the team struggled. They were 9-5 going into the final few weeks of the season. Is that right? Yeah, when they had to go on the road in the playoffs. And then playoff Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs hit another gear the whole way through. Now, quickly on that.
Please. What if the Bills win it this year? Oh. And then, so you think.
But
I'm with Nick on that. If Patrick Mahomes is in the postseason, until he shows us he doesn't have the magic in the postseason, and he can't just bring up everyone's level of play around him when it matters most, I'm with him on that.
And so even if the Bills win it, I think that, listen, and again, now I'm prognosticating, what teams will look like and everything a year from now, but I still think there will be a school of thought that is, listen, Josh Allen might be considered at that point the hands-down best quarterback in football. And people will still be like, but if they're playing each other in the playoffs, all believe in Josh beating Patrick when it happens. I also, again, I don't like these comps because this part of Brady's career was the only dip. But the fact of the matter, and I'll just revisit it very quickly. Tom Brady in his first 7 years won 3 Super Bowls. In year 7, took the field to win Super Bowl 4 and be the greatest team ever. In year 8, he tore his knee up. Patrick Mahomes, year 7, had 3 rings, took the field to win his 4th, be the greatest team ever. In year 8, different part of the season, obviously, ended up tearing his knee up. In year 9, Tom Brady had one of the worst years of his career, They won 10 games and got boat raced by Ray Rice in round 1, 33-14.
Yep.
And in year 10, Tom Brady, they lost. They went 14-2 in the regular season, and they lost a home playoff game to Mark Sanchez and the Jets. Then in year 11, they started 8 straight years of going back to the conference championship game, went to 5 more Super Bowls. So for Brady at least, year 8 was the injury, year 9 and 10 were the no playoff wins. I am not projecting that, nor am I predicting that. I am saying that is what happened then, and up to this point, sadly, or not sadly, it's been unbelievable, but sadly in this moment, the careers mirror each other in that way.
I think one of the big questions going into next year, and you said, everyone's going to say they're going to attack rehab, right? It'd be strange. Like, honestly, I view it as a time to hang out and play video games. But collectively, does the Chiefs organization, Patrick Mahomes, his whole team, decide no, attack it, week 1, let's go? Or is it, this might be a bit of a reset year if Chris Jones they have a decision about Chris Jones, if they have a decision about Travis, how does that line up? You know what? Let's reset. Someone was kicking around the Rams kind of reset.
I don't think you can reset. I don't think you can take a reset year with a guy who might be the best quarterback we've ever seen, still in his prime, and your head coach who's 68 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think you can throw away a Patrick Andy together year.
I'm just nervous about the timeline.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how the surgery goes. We'll see all
Stephon
of
did it. But even he got injured early too. This is a late injury. Meanwhile, in Foxborough, Door Destiny dented by an avalanche of Josh Allen drives. 5 straight touchdowns overwhelmed the team of the century. Here was Vrabel on Josh Allen.
Same thing everybody else sees. He's 6'5", 250 pounds, runs fast, hard to tackle, hard to get down on the ground. It's accurate, strong arm. Watch all the games and know that it's just the same as it was last week. You had a guy free, weren't able to make the play. Last week's team had a guy free, weren't able to make the play. That's why they draft him, and that's why they pay him $60 million.
Does anyone think that the Bills expose the Patriots and their cupcake schedule?
I do not think they exposed them. This was a good game. I mean, I didn't like the way you guys had a 21-point lead and then they just walked you down.
Wasn't great.
But I don't look at this as, the Patriots aren't for real. The Patriots aren't legit. I may think Buffalo should beat you in the playoffs, but I give you guys a shot. I mean, You're in that class. There's no doubt. And you ran the ball well against them. Travion, that dude is incredible. So you ran it well. Drake obviously didn't have a phenomenal game. But
passing-wise, it was the worst game of the season.
Yeah, and we talked about he hasn't really had a bad game yet. He did in this one. But I did not see anything that if I'm a Patriots fan would make me be like, oh my gosh, we're not nearly as good as I thought we were. I think you're fine. I think you're in that group that can contend for the AFC Championship. So, no, I don't think they were exposed.
I'm with you. I don't think they were exposed. This was the first game that had meaning for the New England Patriots in a long time, that they could have done something and clinched that division with Josh Allen being the quarterback that's on the field, not against the Dolphins, not against the Jets, but against Josh Allen. And it kind of slipped through their hands. But it was again, I go back to them just not really knowing how to finish because they haven't been in this position. When you look at the numbers in the first half, them in the first half versus them in the second half, it was alarming. First half, they were absolutely fantastic in every possible category. If you go down, obviously the score, but the third and fourth down plays, they were 4 or 5. Their time of possession, they dominated. And then in the second half, it just completely flipped. And all because you got excited about your positioning and what you were doing to Big Brother, if you will. And you can't do that. You can't take your eye off of the most important thing, which is yourself, and just continuing to challenge yourself to be better each and every down. And that's what I feel like happened, because Josh and any other opponent moving forward, they don't care if they're down. They're going to have to seal the deal, ensure the win, not assume they have the win in their hands. And this is why, going back to the first question, was it a good loss for this team? Absolutely, because of the learning experience they're going to gain from.
Can I ask Greg a question before you go? I've said it was a good loss. This is a hot take, but it did cross my mind, so I wanted to see if I'm on an island with it. Travion, one of the reasons we only had 18 snaps and the time of possession is so low is that Travion broke off that run right away. And I was thrilled we were in the lead, but Josh Allen and the Bills' offense was on fire. Mm-hmm. There was a part of me that was like, I wish that was like a 4-minute drive that we could like walk down the field and score.
But they couldn't put it together.
Right.
I know. I was happy we scored, but if I had
that was the only way you scored.
Exactly.
The only thing you did the whole second half was the crazy cutback play. So I think everybody right now is patronizing the Patriots, and I think it's crazy. I think that, and this is why, and I'm really, KW, I promise, I'm honestly not trying to be a jerk on like pinning you down on like your Bills takes, because we all say things, maybe a little more hyperbolic.
I've been all over the map.
A theme kind of this show compared to others has been, the Patriots are not a cute team. The Patriots are not a good story. The Patriots are a contender. The Patriots it might have the MVP of the league.
Yes.
They have the best record in football up until a couple weeks ago. They can win the Super Bowl. And if we are judging them by that, this is devastating.
That makes sense.
And you can't tell me you are up 21-0 in your building in a hat and T-shirt game against Big Brother to really sow some doubt in the Bills' mind about if we meet this team again. But the Bills in a rough spot, and then let Big Brother, just as Brou put it, really systematically walk you down while your MVP caliber quarterback has, again, it's a high standard, but by his standard this year, far and away, his least productive passing game.
Yeah.
Not even first game without 200 yards at $155, only his second game without a passing touchdown, threw a pick, wasn't a bad pick, it was 3rd and long, but whatever.
Yeah.
And then be like, man, but we sure are building something. That is totally true if it's all about Pat's 2026. If it's about the goal is year 3 May, year 2 Vrabel, we can win the Super Bowl.
Now, are you saying now because I'm with you in that it wasn't a good loss, but are you saying they can't win the AFC now?
What I'm saying is,
I get what he's saying.
What I'm saying is, right now, after watching football this weekend, if I were like, hey, who do I believe in the AFC? I believe in the Bills more. The Broncos have done a lot in the last month to make me believe.
Yes.
The Texans are one of the scariest, hottest teams in football. All of those teams have quarterbacks who have at least started a playoff game. Speaking of quarterbacks who have started a playoff game and hot teams, I don't know if you guys have seen the Jags lately.
Oh, my God.
And so,
the Jags.
I just think that treating the Pats as, hey, like Giannis, like all failure's a lesson or something. I just don't like that if we're talking about them winning the Super Bowl.
Can I show you one graphic and then we'll go to break? This is head-to-head this season. This is why I think we're a pretty negative group, fan base, people in New England, and no one's like going crazy. We split the series. They scored 55, we scored 54. Total yards, 712, 723. Chunk plays, 8-7. So, look, we're playing the MVP, and a lot of people have them going to the Super Bowl. We're right there. I think a lot of people are like, a PI there, a PI there.
You keep bringing up these calls.
I'm not bringing them up, but
what do you
now that you mention them, I didn't say they were bad, but I'm saying it's a little funky. But if we're going to lose, it's not the Eagles' loss to the Giants.
I do think it's like
odd.
If you guys had lost 35-31 because it was back and forth, that feels different than you guys 21-0 and blowing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Coming up next, A naughty grade. Why do we have this pixelated? What's on this in the world? What grade will Professor Broussard give the Cowboys?
I went back and forth on this one.
The McDonald's Snack Wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch Snack Wrap. Spicy Snack Wrap. You broke the internet for a snack. Snack Wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Super Saturday on Fox.
The audience now knows you're always trying to get us to buy your meme coin. Wild's just like, guys, it's the only way you're going to get rich.
Coverage against that
treasure
rock.
on the Ethereum exchange.
Eagles, Commanders, no Jaden Daniels in that one. Then Packers, Bears.
I called it.
No.
You did.
Y'all were talking like Kenny Pickett with Mike.
31-0. Exactly like
the Eagles officially staving off the funk.
Guys, no huddle. You guys are huddling right now. J.J. McCarthy went into Dallas, hit the gritty on one TD. You can't hit the gritty on the field.
Why not? I know he got a little criticism for it. But
that was 9. This guy.
Oh my gosh.
Dak was okay, not great. Brou, what grade are you giving Dallas? Their playoff hopes are basically done.
Yeah, I think it's 0.5%.
It's very simple, Brou. They just have to go 3-0, and the Eagles have to go 0-3.
With the Commanders twice for the Eagles. All right, look, let's set the scene because that's important in my grade. I've gone back and forth. All right, here's the scene. Dallas, you're playing for a playoff spot.
When?
Minnesota, you're not. Okay? Dallas, you're at home. Minnesota is not.
That's usually how that works.
Dallas's owner was all giddy a week ago about their playoff chances.
See this coming.
Minnesota's was not. Dallas has the most expensive, highest paid player in the history of tackle football. Minnesota's got a quarterback that we don't know what the heck. And now, but going in that game at least, we didn't even know if he was a starting quarterback in this league. And you get cooked? You got everything to play for. They've got nothing to play for, and you let them come into your house and cook you. You give up 34 points to a team that averages 20 points a game. I mean, what in the world was going on with the guy? Dak Prescott, y'all MVP? Nothing.
Who's MVP?
Y'all love Dak Prescott. I like Dak Prescott. Y'all love Dak Prescott.
He was
Did
on
nothing.
ballot. He wasn't on Bru's ballot?
For a week. A week. I think I was pressured, too, by y'all. And George Pickens, Greg, does he not want the $100 million contract?
He might not.
He just didn't. The second straight week after all that criticism.
Don't leave out
he's
Aubrey.
A no-show.
Aubrey missed
He
kicks.
did.
Aubrey.
That's how good he is. A 51 and a 59-yarder, he missed him.
Threw him off by asking him to run.
But he did.
Silly.
You're right. He did miss him. Now, Wilds, look, it's been a tough day for you because
no, it hasn't.
Oh, Brou, no! I got you, buddy. I'll fix it.
Oh no! Because your boys lost.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna do you.
Brou, I told you I would have fixed it. Brou,
I'm gonna do you the
I
pleasure.
told you should have let me fix it.
What kind of thing is this?
No.
I'm gonna do you the pleasure. I'm gonna let you hit the button.
Not gonna work.
I didn't bring my boys.
Brou, give it.
Okay. Did you do
I
this?
didn't. You know what? Yeah.
This segment's falling apart.
I didn't bring my boys because it's snow outside here in New York, and I'm gonna let you hit the button because it's been tough for you.
The Buds has already been taking a hit.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it might be that it's malfunction.
Why? I don't understand
It just didn't work for you.
narratively why it doesn't work when I press it.
Well, go ahead. I fixed it.
I just don't understand the story we're trying to tell the audience. It's like I'm not a Cowboys. It doesn't. I don't understand why it works.
My gadget.
I don't understand.
I don't get it why it won't work for you.
I don't know. It's like how cool I am.
I don't get it, but hey, F game by the Cowboys.
Greg, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Were you surprised, because Brou alluded to it, everybody agrees it's an F game. It basically ended their playoff hopes.
Yeah.
They played the Vikings, made J.J. McCarthy look good. Are you surprised George Pickens wasn't able to muster up 60 minutes of great effort in this game after last week? After, what he's...
All that criticism.
The criticism?
I am surprised. Based off of what we were seeing, obviously, for the duration of the year, in a good portion of the year, and what's at stake for him. Like, it could have been taken as, okay, you played the Lions, they played you slightly differently, CD kind of goes down, and it's like, okay, that was an outlier.
Yep.
But to follow it up on the national stage, at home, and then now everybody's going to be focused on you. And every time they pan to him, it looked like he was spaced.
Yeah.
Like he just wasn't even there. And I struggle with it because you want every player to get paid. But this is why, if you're Pittsburgh, this is why you shipped them out.
Yes.
This is exactly why you shipped them out.
Has Mike Tomlin ever made like a bad call here? Has Mike Tomlin ever and the guys just popped like crazy? If Mike Tomlin's saying I can't really make it work, I don't think the Cowboys
because I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers knew his ability was this.
We all saw it, but here and there.
But what we weren't seeing, probably because they didn't have the quarterback play, they didn't have the other receiver that could support him and be there. This is what you're going to end up getting.
So is he on the Cowboys next year?
Well, I mentioned Brandon Aubrey. What is interesting is everybody's just assumed the Cowboys will be able to just short-term franchise tag Pickens while deciding what they want to do. Well, then you better get Aubrey locked up because you only have one franchise tag available, and they're both pending free agents. And so, I look at Brandon Aubrey as
they need him.
A wildly valuable player.
Oh, yeah.
But you should typically, with the best kicker in the league, you say, okay, what is that is a legitimate, what's the highest paid kicker? I think it's Butker, actually. And you give him more than that player long term, and he's fine.
Let me ask you guys this, because everybody's talked about, even when we thought they still not going to make the playoffs a week or two ago, people are like, oh, but next year they're going to be.
I kind of like
this. To me, this was the same old Cowboys. I'm not even trying to be funny. They're a tease. They get you thinking
they torture their
that
fans.
They're going to be good.
Yes.
And that's why last week, remember, I said, I don't know that they're going to win out.
Yeah.
You looked at the schedule and you said they should have won out.
That's right.
But they just lose games they should not lose, and that's what happened yesterday.
And by the way, if they beat the Chargers and Philly loses to Washington, people are going to believe again.
Oh. Rams put up 41 on the Lions.
By people, I mean me.
That also moved the ball on LA. Puka had a career-high 181. Rams into the playoffs. Lions odds to make the playoffs at 25%. Nick, what was the story for you here? The Rams win or the Lions loss?
Listen, the Rams are a victim of their own success at this point, where the Rams look awesome, win is not really a story. Mm-hmm. And Devontae pulling his hamstring is a story that he obviously isn't going to play Thursday, and that's a huge game against Seattle. But if I'm them, I'm like, hey, Devontae, we'll see you in the playoffs. Puka, I thought, suffered a terrible injury, and then missed 3 plays, and Sean McVay's like, hey, do a wide receiver sweep. I mean, Sean McVay.
Can you do it?
Sean McVay calls plays for Puka Nacua like he's a rental car. Like, he's just like, whatever, man. Like, it ain't my problem. And Puka's like, yeah, I'll do it. I mean, he's an unbelievable player. But the story is the Lions, because they're not done, because they do get Chicago, and if they win out, they will make the playoffs. Mm. But they have gone win-loss for 2+ months. And so if you look at their schedule the rest of the way, do we think they're all of a sudden going to win 3 in a row? It's possible. But the Steelers are obviously playing for something. The Vikings just had their best game of the year, arguably, and then in Chicago. So
if they win out, they are in? If they don't need help?
If they win out, I don't think it's 100% they're in, but what will help them if they win out, Brou, is they will have swept Chicago.
Yep. It's pretty close.
But Chicago, Chicago's 2 games up on?
Pardon me.
Right. They would probably need
Chicago
San Fran.
Needs to go 1-2.
San Fran to fall off.
Again, all the little playoff predictor things says the 3 NFC West teams are in. That they are locked. That the NFC North is getting 2 teams. And so I think one of the things that helps them is them being Detroit, if they win those 3 games, is Chicago and Green Bay play each other, so someone there is going to get a loss. And so again, like I haven't done this all on my own yet, but if they win out, they're like 95% to make the playoffs.
They got 6
I just don't think that they are likely to win out, is my answer, I guess, Brou, given how they've played.
Well, look, I agree that the Detroit loss is the bigger story. And I don't think, let's say they miss the playoffs. I don't think their Super Bowl window is closed. And I don't know if you guys
I agree.
Right, because offensively, Jared Goff was great yesterday. It was the defense that was the problem. What their task will be is just strengthen that defense. Because offensively, you've got, the great running backs, you got receivers, you got the quarterback. Like, they are fine. So I think a lot of people will feel if they don't make the playoffs, the window's closed. I don't feel that way at all. I think they'll be okay if they bounce back next year.
The bigger story is the Lions, and I think they're done.
You think they're done?
This year?
I think they're done this year. And I honestly, I grew up in Michigan. I've been rooting for the Lions for years and been let down. And they've had a great run. I don't know if I don't have their Super Bowl window being as open as you do. I think it's very slim to none because of what's happening in their division. With the Bears making this jump, the Packers obviously are going to be there as a constant. But the Detroit Lions right now, if Caleb continues to progress, I don't know if they have the second, third, like the stats consistently. Goff is going to be what he's going to be.
But you're saying that they might enter next year with the 3rd best quarterback in the division.
Absolutely.
He's not as dynamic as
correct.
The other two.
And so, but for this year, I just think they're done. When you looking at how they played and the guys that they have, I know the Packers, obviously they're probably banking on that one because the Packers are only up a game and their injuries, and they could falter. That's definitely a real scenario. I'm just more bullish on the Packers than I am the Detroit Lions, simply because I believe the culture, I believe the quarterback is better, and I believe their ability to galvanize together defensively is even still better than what I see with Detroit.
Yes, even without Micah.
Even without Micah.
Is the robe coming back? Maybe the box.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite, obey your thirst.
Fox College Hoops Friday. Oh, the Wildcats up against the Badgers. Ooh, let's go Wisconsin. Football season's over. Basketball season's just beginning. All tips off Friday night, 8 Eastern on Fox. We're headed to Denver. Broncos won their 11th game in a row, 12th in a row at home to punch their ticket to the playoffs. Bo Nix. If you watch this show, you wouldn't think Bo Nix is very good. Turns out, this dude is amazing. 4 touchdowns, and the Packers pass rush couldn't bring him down. Nick, we'll start with you. Now, I bolded now. Now, can you see the Broncos winning the Super Bowl?
Not quite, but what I will say is if the Bo Nix they've got in the last month is the Bo Nix that shows up in the playoffs, then yes. And I have to give credit to the at least idea that I was wrong about him and that a young player is going to continue to improve. He is playing his best football right now. That was a great win. That was one of the few games this year where the Broncos defense wasn't awesome. I mean, Surtain had the great pick. It's not like the defense was terrible, but they didn't win because of the defense. They won because of the offense. And here is the situation they now find themselves in. They have a very tough and very important game next week against Jacksonville. After that, it is the Kansas City backups in week 17, and then a Chargers team that probably will be locked into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so they could have a lot, for good or for bad, a lot of time for rest and everything before a bye, 1 seed, get everyone healthy.
Too much rest.
Maybe. I mean, they played a huge game this weekend, and they play a huge game next weekend. And I thought for Bo Nix, the best game of his career through 28 games was the Chiefs. And I thought the best game of his career through 29 games, whatever it was the Commanders. And the best game of his career up to this point now is the Packers.
Yeah.
So he is peaking, and Sean Payton's doing his thing. And so begrudgingly, I give him credit. I still would be very surprised if they won the Super Bowl, but they have an amazing resume at this point, Brou.
Yeah, your question is, can they? Yes, they can. Again, I think the Bills should be the favorite in the AFC. But Bo Nix, with that defense, first of all, is phenomenal. And I think they're similar to the Texans. Is C.J. Stroud going to be great? Is Bo Nix going to be great? If either one of those guys plays well, then their team could go all the way. And Bo Nix looks like a big game quarterback. Like you said, in the last few weeks, he's outplayed Patrick Mahomes, and yesterday he outplayed Jordan Love in big games. So we all know about his fourth quarter comebacks. So I know last year he wasn't great in the playoff and all that, but he looks like a guy that the moment's not too big for. And so I'm going to say, yeah, they can win the Super Bowl.
And unlike CJ, has a great offensive line.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
CJ's running for his life.
Yeah, absolutely they can win the Super Bowl. And it's because of the guy you all are talking about, Bo Nix. Look, Sean Payton said that he had a Super Bowl team with this team, with this outfit. And we all kind of questioned that. I didn't question it as much, but it was going to be because of this young man and the steps or the strides and the progress that he made. It wasn't looking sexy.
A month ago, it didn't look like.
But
it looked like he was the weak link of the team.
Since that game, since that game against the Chiefs, Bo Nix has been outright electric.
Yep.
Like the numbers suggest that he has been playing top elite quarterbacking in the National Football League. Like this is what their team points per games is. Completion percentage, 70%. We know he was struggling there. Passing yards per game up. Touchdown to turnover ratio up. Like Bo Nix has been really, really good, and it just hasn't been the fourth quarter. It's been through the duration. And I've sat in this seat and I said, if they can get the fourth quarter Bo Nix to start the game and finish the game in that magnitude, this team is special.
With his good, go ahead, sorry.
And that's what we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
With as good as we feel about him having a 9-point comeback, think about how good we'd feel if they had blown a big lead.
Let's not. Bo Nix, 22-9 as a starter. He's going to end the season with possibly the most wins in his first 2 seasons
of anybody. Yeah.
Live from New York. It's a show that, looking back on it, seems like it made a poor bet. And Shedeur go up against Caleb, bro.
Who, me?
You didn't make the poor bet, Danny.
No, I made a great bet.
You made the wise bet.
He took advantage of me.
I think you did. I totally agree with that.
I don't bet. I should have got odds.
Yes.
I mean, granted, I don't think Shedeur was even within close to Caleb, so it might not have mattered, but
Did feel like you got taken advantage of.
I want a ribeye. Bone in, medium rare, old fashions, seafood tower, bottle of red for the table. Seafood tower.
Wow.
All the prawns.
I always get a seafood tower.
Yeah,
you got to.
Yeah, and you know what I really like at steakhouses?
Seafood tower?
The things that next to the description just say market.
Market price.
Yeah. There's no number, no way to tell.
See what the veal market's up to.
Can't wait. 2 pound lobster for everybody.
Today, the Bills storm back from a deficit to win yet again. Does this prove they can't be stopped, or are they playing with fire? Oh, my goodness. Meanwhile, with Micah lost for the year, did the Packers lose their Super Bowl hopes as well? But right now, We're headed to Kansas City. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're headed to Chicago. Thank
we can
goodness.
go to Kansas.
I was like, I started reading the
Let's go
script.
to
I was
Kansas
like, man, that's a
City.
mean read for one. I was like, cold day, cold world. I was like, man. Caleb defeated Shedeur and the Browns 31-3. Cleveland had as many points as Shedeur interceptions. Here's Caleb on his highlight throw.
That's something that we preach. It's something that we're going to keep, harping on. Something that we're going to keep growing at. Is when defense creates these turnovers, we got to go score.
DJ, is that in any way an ill-advised throw from your point of view? You can...
Nah, I can make any throw.
Wow.
Brou, you owe Danny and Caleb an apology.
I owe Danny dinner, and you and Greg or Coach, whoever joins us, dinner. I mean, I thought I was next to Danny, who is the Caleb guy. I thought I was like the Caleb guy for the first 2 hours.
No.
Nick dropped a banner.
Giving him to Danny.
Saying, I'm done with this guy.
You're not the Caleb.
Based on an article.
Nobody thinks you're the Caleb guy of the first 2 hours.
I'm not against Caleb, but I will give him an apology because he was phenomenal. Now, that throw was probably ill-advised. It was awesome, but probably ill-advised. I thought it, initially I was like, that was a pick, right? Somebody, one of the Browns got that. It's a phenomenal throw. Probably ill-advised, but I'm not going to get mad at his confidence. He was great against
this angle.
A great defense, not a very good defense.
Yep.
That Browns defense is good. Obviously, had Myles Garrett breathing down his throat. So great game by Caleb in every way. Shedeur struggled.
Yikes.
Now rookies, they go up and down, but he struggled. 3 picks against that great, defense as far as making interceptions, getting takeaways. It was an ill-advised bet. Speaking of ill-advised, ill-advised bet by me. I'm gonna have to hide it from my wife when I take you guys out.
Luckily, she doesn't watch the show.
Right, exactly.
Well, I will just say, how Wilds is beloved in Kansas City. Good thing you apologized, because after that take, you were not exactly beloved in Chicago, I can say. But we said that we had to be fair. Wilds and Nick were going to be the arbiters of who really won the bet. So
we're going to have
I think we should just go to the tail of the tape and just compare the two. Who was better, Shedeur or Caleb? Well, it's pretty much universal across the board on the right. I thought this was an interesting note. The passer rating discrepancy between the two starters was the 8th largest of any matchup this season, in terms of one starter outdoing the other guy on the right. But that's a little confusing, Brou. It's a little confusing. Passer rating, outdid by 80.
Danny's never been known as being a gracious.
Passer rating is not confusing.
Well, how do we calculate it? Nobody knows. So let's just look at all of the numbers. Let's just look at every possible stat. He won all of them. Yeah, it was universal. He won every single one across the board. So yeah, Brou, apologies.
I need a double or nothing.
No,
double or nothing.
No double or nothing. I am cashing out right now. But I will say this. I feel bad for Nick for abandoning Caleb because that was arguably the best game he's had as a pro. He was spectacular in sub-zero temperatures against the top 5 pass defense. He made every throw. His numbers would have been even better. The first drive of the game, there's a dropped screen pass where the broadcaster started talking that would have been a 50-yard touchdown if Monangai even catching it. So he was kind of let down by his opponents. And Ben Johnson has said since training camp they're going to be playing their best ball at the end of the year. If they got Jalen Johnson back, best cornerback. They're getting Tremaine Edmonds back this week against Green Bay. If the defense gets better and this is the version of Caleb they get going forward, they're a very dangerous football team.
Yeah, and their biggest competition in the division suffered, sadly, a devastating injury to their best player on their entire team in the Packers, and they get them this week. I think we all agree Caleb played really well.
He was phenomenal.
Can I pivot the conversation slightly to the other quarterback?
Sure.
Because the reason that I thought Brou got such the bad end of this was not necessarily because I was as confident as Danny that Caleb was going to play an awesome game. It was because I thought a game like this from Shedeur was, I don't want to say likely that he throws 3 picks, and one of those picks is pretty unlucky. Like I thought,
just like a great throw.
Just like you said, the Caleb touchdown you thought was going to be picked. The Shedeur pick on the front of the end zone, I thought was a touchdown, and it ends up being an interception.
The guy had it,
right? And
then,
Jerry Jeudy had it. But how much do you guys think? If last week for Shedeur was 5 steps forward, was this game 4 steps back? Like how much
7.
did? So hold on. You think?
I watched every snap of that game. The first sideline report of the game was that they changed out his wristband because they felt like they couldn't articulate play calls at the line of scrimmage. They had 4 penalties by 8 minutes into the game.
Well, one of them was for 12 men in the huddle.
No,
I think some of
that's on the quarterback.
I think it's on the quarterback, but it's also on the head coach too.
Well, the quarterback's supposed to be the last guy to enter the huddle after he counts the number of guys on the field. He looked terrible.
So, but hold on. You said so. You think that he is further behind in his quest to be like the Browns quarterback next year right now than he was going into last week? Because that's why I said 5 steps forward, 4 steps back. Like, I still think I think last week bought him a good margin of error. Yeah. My question is, did this week erase that? And now basically is he again starting from scratch? Because 3 picks, 5 sacks, the procedural penalties, all of that to me against a defense that, while opportunistic, is not considered a great defense. That, to me, Brou, was super concerning.
I say 3 steps back. Rookies are up and down. I mean, it's just the nature of it is what it is. And I didn't expect them to play great, but I didn't expect Caleb to play great. I thought they both would be okay and Shedeur would be slightly better. But, I mean, look at every rookie in the league. Look at Caleb last year. Even Caleb at times this year, but up and down is what it is. So, I mean, Caleb was having trouble with the operation early in the season. So you got to give, Shedeur some leeway in that too. He wasn't good. I'm just saying, like you said, last week was so good. Yeah. This week was bad. But again, rookies are up and down.
Sure, and if we're doing the big picture Shedeur thing, I mean, I just can't compare him to number 1 overall pick Caleb Williams. I don't think you get that grace as a 5th-round pick.
That's what I would do.
When they're going to have a top 5 pick who they could draft a quarterback to replace him. I mean, he had an okay statistical game against the Raiders in which he had a 66-yard touchdown when 65 yards were after the catch. It was a 1-yard swing pass that went for a touchdown. Then he had a great statistical game against the worst team in football, the Titans, in which he lost. And then he played a team that gives up a ton of big plays, and they had 4 first downs in their first 11 drives. The only time they looked even slightly competent was complete garbage time. If we were grading it, if you were doing Brou grades the Cowboys, you grade Shedeur, that was an F from Shedeur.
He also has one of the worst offensive lines in the league. The worst, at least according to, I think, PFF, the worst receiving core in the league. So it's not like he's got a ton to work with.
I agree completely. I'm just saying, same against Tennessee. He did not look good.
Browns have the 4th pick. You're drafting, if you're in charge, you're drafting a quarterback?
I'd have to, I mean, I've seen these quarterbacks in college play here and there, but I'd have to, really scout them if I was the Browns before I draft one. I'm not of the opinion that every year there's a great quarterback coming out. And we see that. That's
only take one if you like one.
But we treat it like that. Yeah. We you got to take. None of these quarterbacks might be worthy of the number 1 or even a top 10 pick. We'll see. But I wouldn't automatically do it. And he's still got 3 games left?
He's got 3 games left. I agree with you, Brou, that you shouldn't just be like, we have to draft the quarterback if you don't like him. My concern for Shedeur is if he is starting kind of from scratch again after this game, as far as, is he ahead, behind, even schedule, is he is running out of time to give them incentive not to bring in someone ahead of him. So, let's either because they fall in love with someone in the draft and they draft someone, or they say, okay, free agent veteran quarterback reclamation project X, we're bringing you in as a stopgap. Because I
What about bringing you in to compete? And again, he has to play well these next 3 games.
Right. I think he has to play really well because the point Danny made that it's hard to take you totally seriously wearing that, but you did make.
Will this help?
Please don't.
Okay.
You did make an important point, which is a lot of quarterbacks that have gotten a ton of grace and a huge, Bryce Young is an example, a lot of opportunity, would not have gotten those opportunities if teams hadn't expended the resource of first overall pick or top 10 pick. It's just easier to cut bait or to not give as many chances to a 5th round pick.
Would you say though the ceiling he showed last week, that's got to buy you something?
The Titans, though, bro.
No, it buys him the rest of the year.
The Titans played several teams, and a lot of quarterbacks didn't do that.
I think that's right. I think it did buy him something. It bought him the rest of the season. He was named the starter the rest of the year after that game.
Okay. Let's head back to Kansas City now. Mahomes tears his ACL. His season is over. The Chiefs are eliminated from playoff contention. Mahomes thanking the kingdom for their thoughts, says he'll be back better than ever. Danny, we talked to Nick, and we're going to give him a break on his reaction. What was your reaction to this news?
Listen, obviously it's a bummer for Patrick Mahomes and for sports fans, just like it was for Packers fans with Micah. You hate seeing anyone get hurt, and then when it's an icon and a face of the league, it's awful. If what Andy Reid said today is true, that he avoided any further structural damage to the knee. He said it appears that there is no damage beyond that, but they're still getting the second opinion, and we'll see. If that ends up being true, and he's back for the start of next year, which Nick says is the goal, and that obviously makes sense, then they were probably not going to make the playoffs this year, and he gets to start next year, and we didn't really miss out on much extra of Patrick Mahomes. As weird as that is, it's a bummer for him, because now this offseason, he doesn't just get to enjoy his offseason and relax and then attack football. He has to attack rehab. But if they were going to miss the playoffs this year and he's there for the opener next year, we didn't really miss all that much extra from Mahomes. But I do think narratively, get ready for 9+ months and maybe longer, maybe until he wins another Super Bowl or wins another MVP of Josh Allen's the best quarterback in football. It's going to be very difficult. I think a majority opinion going into next year, you ask 100 sports fans, who's the best quarterback in the NFL? I don't think the majority would say 15 on the Chiefs.
Well, yeah, I think that anytime a player is knocked out with a catastrophic injury, you have to see how they play again. You have to see how they play post-injury.
But it was already trending in that direction, too.
Yeah,
it probably would have been there anyway, even if he didn't get hurt, if they didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, and I also think that this is, I'm not trying to turn this to a Josh conversation, but to answer your question, that is going to be wholly and entirely predicated on this postseason, whether it should be or not. Because now the field seems so clear for Josh, he will get really hammered if they were to lose in round 1 to Houston, a team that already beat him, and he has that type of game. I guess they're unlikely to play Houston in round 1, but you understand what I mean. If they make the Super Bowl, then it will be the majority opinion. And if they win the Super Bowl, it will be the universal opinion, and that's fine. As I said last week, there is no moment in NFL history where one quarterback was the universally regarded best quarterback in football for a decade consecutively. During Brady's entirety of his prime, other guys popped up. Whether it was Manning with the Broncos he's the best. Certainly Rodgers, Brady, and so all that happened. What I think it means for the Chiefs, for Patrick, is this. He now has his first, I don't want to call it challenge. He's had so many challenges. But such a unique challenge placed in front of him of how will I come back from this and how will this change him as a player. And I'm not convinced that that has to be negative. For one reason or another, Tom Brady was better post-ACL. And maybe it's because he became even more cerebral. Maybe it was going to happen with or without it.
There was at some point he made a health switch too.
Oh yeah, the TB12 method and all of that. I also think that where I am, again, trying to take positives from an overwhelmingly negative situation, Brou, is I do think that this forces the Chiefs to, in their planning for next season, do less of Patrick will take care of that bucket. Which means, I think the offensive line, actually, when healthy, you have 4 of your 5 starters in place. You have a rookie left tackle who was excellent when he played, a second-year left guard who'd switched from tackle who was quite good. Your center's an all-pro, your right guard's an all-pro, right tackle. If you have 4 of your 5 spots, that's fine. But if they are forced into prioritizing a running game next year because they don't know if Patrick's going to be back in week 1 or they don't want to put it all on his plate, I think that's actually good. I think if they weren't going to win the Super Bowl, and it was pretty apparent by halftime of yesterday's game, this team's not Super Bowl caliber, even if I didn't want to admit it, having a full offseason for everyone, having a third-place schedule, having the 10th, 11th, 12th pick of the draft could be beneficial in all those ways after what has been, they have played 21 more games over the previous 7 years than a team that didn't make the playoffs. That's more than they've played 8 and a quarter seasons in 7 seasons, and now they get a bit of a break from that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And I said earlier, Danny, they're also going to have to rebuild that Chiefs mystique and that Mahomes mystique. That might be getting to what you were talking about, people saying Allen's the best quarterback in the league. Because the quarterbacks, I think he did have an advantage over a lot of guys. I mean, late in the game, you thought they got the ball, they're winning. I honestly, obviously before he got hurt, I didn't think that yesterday. It's one of the few times, and this year there have been several times where when they got the ball late with a chance to tie or win, I didn't think he was going to do it. And that was automatic before this season. It was just like, he's got the ball late, they're going to win.
And go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say one thing, as the Herbert guy, which kind of makes me a de facto Chargers guy, when the Cowboys beat the Eagles and Chiefs in back-to-back weeks, it was like, how good are the Cowboys? Can they make a run? That's really impressive. They beat the teams that's what the Chargers just did. Chargers have won 6 of 7. I get it gets overshadowed by the Mahomes injury. And
you believe in them?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you really?
You believe they can make a run?
Sure. The AFC is wide open.
Wide open.
Herbert's awesome. Their defense is playing well.
Great coach.
They can make a run. Absolutely. The offensive line is a huge problem, but they can make a run.
What team in the AFC would you say can't make a run?
What's up, KW?
You don't think I think every team that makes the playoffs in the AFC can make a run. I think that we're just throwing
around the AFC as wide open all the time. Here's the double or nothing bet for the steak restaurant.
Well, we have to go to the steak restaurant.
Yeah.
No,
but a new bet. Wild wants to make a new bet.
I'm starving myself until this dinner so I can run up a tab.
Here's the issue, and I don't want to have a fight, but I scoured my face. And sometimes I watch this back. I'm like, I'm supposed to be the likable one. And I'm always like this.
You haven't been that in months, bro. Ever since the Patriots got good.
That's
That's why I'm here now.
When the Chargers lose, because of a porous offensive line, because Herbert's been hit more than any other quarterback, then what are we? Then we see this flashing.
No, we don't
red,
want to hear those excuses.
So I have a hard time. They can make a run. Herbert's awesome, but you know how they're going to lose.
Right, but my guess is your and I's reaction to that is, and I shouldn't, but if the Bills lose because of their run defense, yes, it's been there all year. If the Patriots lose because of an uncharacteristic game from Drake May, we can say, well, he doesn't have any playoff experience. We can do that with every team that isn't the Chiefs, that doesn't have the resume and the bona fides.
But that's not where I was going with it. Where I was going with it is, and this is really the genesis of so many of my probably more vitriolic than they need to be Herbert arguments is, in back-to-back weeks they have won because of their defense. And then we're like, man, Herbert is awesome. And very, very few quarterbacks, especially highly paid quarterbacks, get to play for perfect teams. And so I see them beat the Eagles where neither team what was the final score of that game?
22-19.
Okay. Where they hold the Eagles to 19 points and force 5 turnovers. They beat the Chiefs in a game where they hold the Chiefs to 13 points, force a red zone turnover. And then I simultaneously have to hear about all that Herbert's overcoming. His team's weakness right now is they have a very injured offensive line, which is obviously very detrimental to a quarterback's stats. But you have an excellent head coach. You have, for the second straight year, an awesome defense that is peaking at the end of the year. You're supposed to have this great quarterback. So I am glad to hear that you believe they can go on a run, because I agree with you. If Herbert is the guy that you and his defenders say he is, they have enough in, I do believe, an AFC where there is no team that we're like, man, they're just going to have to screw up. There's not a Rams in the AFC.
I don't see any, Josh, let's work on this tomorrow. Show me a team that makes the Super Bowl with their quarterback being hit more than any other quarterback. I think it is just like going across country on a car with 3 tires.
But
you're not going that far.
KW, can I just, and I know we have to go, I bet you could do a thing with every team currently in the AFC playoffs and find something about them that no team has made the Super Bowl doing. When's the last time a Super Bowl quarterback made the Super Bowl in his first playoffs? When's the last time for the Bills?
Plenty of times, but
plenty of times. The first time they were ever in the playoffs. I think Tom Brady is the last one. I think that's a quarter century ago.
What about the sophomore quarterbacks, Ben?
Joe Burrow's your comp, by the way, for got sacked the most and then made it to the Super Bowl.
Burrow also made Burrow also, by the way, made the Super Bowl in their first playoffs.
I think these little asterisk type statistics are very different than getting hit, your quarterback being hit. I think it's different than tight end drops.
That's how good Herbert is.
He's nice.
What is your definition of making it?
I want to be a cup driver. I want to be a championship cup driver.
But ultimately, I'm either good enough or I'm not. I've grown up watching these guys. Now I'm going to beat them.
17 more, the best laps you ever ran in your life. Dad, we won in Daytona.
It's woven into my identity. There's no other option to me.
Stick around. The first episode of Rising follows us starting at 6 o'clock Eastern, airing Mondays on FS1 through mid-January. Welcome back. We got Greg Jennings and Willie Colon out here. Packers yesterday suffered a tough loss in more ways than one. News comes out of Green Bay this morning. As expected, Micah Parsons did in fact tear his ACL. He went on X this morning and said, "I may be sidelined, but I'm not defeated. This injury is my greatest test." He goes on to say, "I'm deeply grateful to the Packers organization and my teammates for their unwavering support, love, and belief in me during this season." So obviously, Micah, an elite player here. Greg, I'll start with you. Do you still see the Packers making a run?
Look, you both know this was the team that I had representing not only the NFC, but actually winning the entire Super Bowl. With that being said, obviously, this injury drastically changes how I view this team moving forward. I still think that they're a very impactful team. A deep playoff run, this is going to boil down to what Matt LaFleur is going to do as it pertains to this offense and how they're going to look. Is he going to put more on the shoulders of Jordan Love? Because right now, when you lose an impact player like Micah Parsons, it not only deflates the defense, but it also impacts you as offensively because you're not as sticky defensively. You're not as stingy defensively. But we went through something similar in the years we played and in the years I played where we lost players in our Super Bowl run year, critical players. We didn't lose them this early in the season in terms of the actual engines that run either offense or defense. But one of the things that I'm concerned with is how it's landing in the locker room. Because I listened to a lot of the guys after the game, but when you listen to a guy like Rashawn Gary, who's on the side of the ball that that Micah Parsons is obviously on, just take a listen to the start of his response to being asked about the loss of Micah Parsons.
What's been going through your mind since you saw the injury, and where to go from here?
I just wanted to show that because that
Right after the game,
obviously you go in, you feel sorry for your guy, you feel bad for them because they can't finish out the season, but the impact that he has will linger. Now, how long it lingers, we'll see, but it's definitely going to impact this team moving forward.
Yeah, the run is officially off the table for me. I just don't see it, and I agree with you. I think the rest of the season is on Jordan Love and LaFleur's shoulders. They are a top 10 offense, but I think what we witnessed yesterday, especially when their offensive lineman Zach Tom went down, the Broncos heated them up, and Jordan Love couldn't withstand the pressure, and it got ugly fast. The first half, when they were kind of rolling, things got going. Like, okay, we got a dogfight on our hands. That offensive line started to struggle. Jordan Love started to struggle, and now I'm saying to myself, when your scare factor is on IR, what's next? And so now we're thinking about January, and this is what Jordan Love looks like in January. We got the graphic right here to show you. This isn't the graphic. This
It'll
is
come up in a second.
Right, thank you. So
we didn't have to show the pic.
Yeah, let's
I
do
was
that
gonna
out
get-
there.
I was gonna get to it.
This is Jordan Love in January, right? And so you're telling me a banged up offensive line, your defense is your star defensive players on IR, and this is what you have to look for as far as production out of Jordan Love. I just don't see a run.
Right, so Jordan Love, he threw 2 picks yesterday.
He did.
And this one, the deep one here that ends up having Watson get hurt, and it looks like he escaped a bad injury, which is good, obviously, because he's probably their best wide receiver, and they're certainly their best deep threat. You know, little underthrown, and maybe the best cornerback in football makes a great play. The other one that you just saw, off his guy's hands, but it is a little behind him. So you could, if you're being complimentary, I guess, to Jordan Love, you'd say neither of those interceptions are on him. But the truth is, what I've always said is he's streaky.
Yeah.
He's a streaky player. They have lost games this year where they allowed 13 points, 16 points, 10 points. Now, if the defense isn't as good, and so those types of performances are probably unlikely, where you're going to hold teams to 10 points, 13 points, you're going to need to consistently score in the high 20s. You're playing the best teams. You're probably not going to win the division, though they are favorites to
Well,
like
they got to
2
hunt
points.
the Bears matchup, so because that'll lock them for the 6th or 7th. They avoid the Rams.
Yeah, you could. Listen, there's still a ton. I mean, we just saw last week the Bears went from the 1 seed to the 7 seed.
Yeah.
Right now, the Rams play the Seahawks, and that's a 1 matchup to the 5. So a ton is still to be determined in the NFC seeding. But there's a real good chance that the Packers are going to have to go on the road for 3 straight games in order to make it to a Super Bowl. If your defense is damaged and your quarterback is streaky, it's just a lot of ifs that need to align. So can they do it? Yeah, I think Jordan Love's been playing great football for a while now. It's just much less likely.
Again, if you're in that locker room, you're hearing all of this, you know what everybody is saying, and you know what the odds are, but you don't believe that it is something that you can't do. And I say that from experience because when we lost Nick Barnett, one of our leading tacklers, obviously Jermichael Finley on offense, Ryan Grant on offense, we lost a lot of guys our Super Bowl run year. We were still of the mindset and the mentality that we still had enough to get it done. And so I believe that they understand that. They have that mentality as well. However, and I'm not even going to say however, and I feel this is why I still believe in this team, because when I look at the landscape in the NFC, there is no absolutely dominant team both on the offensive side and defensive side.
You didn't see the Rams? You didn't see the Rams?
I
don't know if you saw.
I saw the Rams.
Oh, okay.
I saw the Rams, and they can be gotten. They've been gotten. There's no absolute dominant team. So for me, they still have a shot, but it's going to go strictly through and exclusively through Jordan Love.
Let's get to the victorious locker room here. I thought this was a very interesting game from the Broncos' perspective. Bo Nix leads the Broncos to victory, this time with over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Broncos now 12-2 on the year. They're in first place. Here is Bo Nix after the game.
This was our first goal. You know, we wanted to get to the playoffs. That's the only way to get further is to make the tournament. So we're excited about that. That was goal number one. We were able to accomplish that tonight. And then this next week, it's going after goal number two, and that's you know, worrying about our next opponent and, you know, finding a way to get you know, the best out of our season and get the best situation in the postseason. So we're, you know, I feel like every week it's the most important game. It's the next best game.
So, guys, I said on Friday, the winner of this game, I'd be very impressed either way. I thought it was a fascinating matchup. And if the question is, what did the Broncos prove? To me, they finally, and I've been a skeptic of them this year, they finally proved that they are in that group of teams that can win a Super Bowl. Am I picking them to do it? No. But they can, because they finally won a game because of Bo Nix. And not because Bo Nix played well in the fourth quarter in a weird game against the Giants. Like, he played well start to finish. And let's look at Bo Nix during this 11-game win streak, okay? In the first 10 games, he was fine, but he was a passenger. And all those one-score games and all those one-score games against bad teams, I was like, I'm sorry, I don't believe in you. I don't believe you can go undefeated in games when your quarterback has a passer rating under 85. But then against Green Bay, not a great defense, but a very good defense, he is chucking it all over the field. And now they are a 3-1 favorite, Willie, to be the 1 seed in the AFC, which means everyone's got to go to altitude and go deal with that crowd and deal with that defense with a loud environment. Like, Broncos can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, to your point, they played complimentary football, and it was good to see this time of year. I don't know if anybody saw it, when we saw Dre Greenlaw damn near getting a fight with one of the Packers before the game, I was like, that's how a defense looks this time of year. That's how you should be fired up and passionate and ready to go. But you talk about the Broncos defensively, they stepped it up a notch. You talk about Raleigh Moss and Patrick Surtain pretty much having picks on Jordan Love. And I also thought one of the things that stood out, was Green Bay. Their final 6 drives, they held Green Bay to Broncos held them to 3 points. And so I'm looking at this Broncos defense with Bo Nix and the way they're playing together. I said, man, they're my favorite. I don't see nobody in the AFC beating them. I don't see. Wow. Be honest, especially after the way the Pats played. Yeah, I got the Broncos.
Well, for me, this was all about Bo Nix and him taking the next step. And he's been, since they played the Kansas City Chiefs, you kind of been alluding to that, he's been next level. He's been what his coach has been advertising and marketing him as from the beginning of the season. And we just have been seeing it exclusively in the fourth quarter. If they get this version of Bo Nix from start to finish, right, knowing that they have that defense to back him, they're definitely capable of winning a Super Bowl. And he's gotten better, and I believe it's because of the confidence. When you beat somebody like Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, who's dominated that division, and you have been the reason or named by your coach and deemed the team that, man, they're my next Super Bowl team. Like, this team can win a Super Bowl, and you haven't performed well individually, and you overcome that with the performance he had against the Chiefs, and then you follow that up the remaining weeks and the following weeks, and then we see this on full display against the Green Bay Packer team that we all feel like could come out of the NFC. This is why this team is going to have a shot. If Bo Nix is this version, they're going to be a force in the AFC.
It was a statement game from the Broncos. Huge slate in the NFL yesterday. We got a lot of games still to go through, including whether or not Willie's Rams are clearly the most dangerous team. Yeah, sure.
Rowdy Rams.
Have you seen the Rams? Time now for a little Monday edition of He Said, We Said. Hearing the best sound from the weekend, from the players, then we give you the analysis. First up, Josh Allen after the big comeback win over the Patriots.
We understood what was at stake, but at the same time, that wasn't really in the back of our heads. We were just, hey, we got to find a way to win a football game. Score, stop, score. I think that's what we did coming out. I think we've been pretty dang good at that over the course of the season. Now, obviously, we want to start faster. We don't want to continue to put ourselves in these holes that we're finding ourselves in, but being able to dig ourselves out and be battle-tested come down the stretch here.
That is well said by the best player in football. Josh Allen was ridiculous yet again. And putting it into context, there's a million different ways to do it. But it's like, is it sustainable? Can he keep that up?
Obviously. Back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, well, that's all year. Like everyone else, if your defense gives up 30, you lose, which makes sense because that's a lot of points. The Bills have won 80% of the games where they've allowed more than 30, and in those games, Josh Allen is accounting for 338 yards of offense. And if you go further than that, it's like, oh, wow, they fell behind early. What?
That's crazy.
He's the best second-half player in football by a mile. So just nothing rattles them. They're never knocked out of it. They're never, until there's zeros on the clock, man, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, they've mastered the art of winning dogfights. And it starts with Josh Allen. And I think yesterday they leaned into their identity. Run on early downs, let Josh Allen cook in between the 20s, and allow James Cook to finish out drives. And they did that. They set in 12 personnel, and they just pounded the edges, and they was able to get north and south. And what's crazy about it, they've done this back-to-back weeks, and Josh Allen just has a knack of saying, you know what, I got it from here, and he takes off. So it is what it is. The Buffalo Bills are scrappy, and they're nasty.
Well, yeah, but you said something a couple of weeks ago, them relying on their running game and leaning into that. They found that running game in the second half. Obviously, we know who Josh Allen is. And I think there's something to be said when you have a player that gets in that huddle, even though they're down, and you can look into their eyes. Willie, you know this, you can speak to this, and you see no wavering, no doubt. That's Josh Allen. That's why this team has, and he has the ability that he possesses. Of course, he's the best player and going to be the best quarterback for sure in the postseason.
And I also want to know, they're limited, right? It's just Josh Allen and James Cook, right? And a pair of, twin tight ends. They're not cooking on the outside with some star guys like Devontae Adams or Puka Nacua. It's just them two, and they get it done.
It's ridiculous. Speaking of the team that has Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, though Devontae did get hurt, here's Matt Stafford over a big win over the Lions.
There's still plenty of plays I want back, and then we could clean up. So, I'm not going to put a metric on it for us. I just want us to continue to keep working hard, keep playing, and I know that's what we will do. We got the right group of guys that, all we want to do is go to work and find a way to be better and continue to find ways to win football games as a team. It's a fun group right now, but, we understand that there's more out there for us.
So the easy thing today is to talk MVP because Drake May takes a step back, and it's Josh Allen entering the race, but then Matt Stafford does that, and they put up 41 in a win over the Lions, and Stafford was spectacular in that game. The Rams held the Lions to 70 yards rushing. Lions, I didn't think I'd see a day where the Lions would score 34 points but only run for 70 yards. They've had 2 games this year where they've run for less, but it just shows like the Rams are a very well-rounded team, and I think that everyone would have them number 1 in their power rankings going forward. So they deserve to be the favorites that they are.
Yeah, they definitely deserve it, and Stafford gets it based off the sound, how he's responding. Like there's more that they have at stake. Like he gets it. He's won a Super Bowl. He knows what it takes. Is he going to win the MVP? Absolutely. That he will not be satisfied. The only thing that will get a smile on his face at the podium is when he's celebrating his second Lombardi trophy. That's why you have a guy like Stafford and you provide him with the weapons that they provided him with, because this is what you could potentially get.
Yeah, this is what an elite offense looks like. The Rams pair their scheme with stars, and they finish drives, and they put up big numbers. I mean, Devontae Adams got hurt in this game, and they said, okay, Colby Parkinson.
Yeah. No relation.
Showed up and got it done. The 6'7", 275 tight end really dominated the red zone. So you're talking about an offense that really is unwavered by any situation. They can respond and continue to keep going. And long Stafford is him, man. I just don't see a better offense in football right now, better than the LA Rams.
Listen, and I think that is totally fair, but the idea, it's easy to say this every year because it's a single elimination football and any given Sunday, and anybody can beat anybody, right? So you can say it every year. This year, it does to me feel particularly open, and I think it's because of the Chiefs being out of it, the Eagles not looking as dominant, million factors, million reasons why. This week, and we'll probably start talking about it in earnest tomorrow, is Rams-Seahawks the rematch on Thursday Night Football. The Seahawks are an awesome team that had a field goal shot to beat the Rams in a game where their quarterback threw 4 interceptions. So the Rams can get got. The Seahawks, if Sam Darnold only threw 2 interceptions in that game instead of 4, they could have lost. And then, so there's a world where Seattle beats the Rams this week, and then the Rams, who everybody has had as the Super Bowl favorite and the best team in the league, goes into the playoffs as the 5 seed.
But don't you feel after watching the Rams beat the Lions, they're in a class of their own? That's how I felt watching that.
So I don't, because to Danny's point, we've seen the Lions rip off some wins early in the season. We've seen the Packers. We've seen, the Bears. We've seen all these teams have success, and it's just any one of these teams that you throw out there and have an opponent against, they can get beaten.
And again, I mean, listen, if the Rams do fall, whoever falls to the 5 seed in the NFC will be a favorite on the road over whoever ends up coming out of the NFC South. So it's just one extra week of football, but it's another week where an upset can happen. It's another week where injuries can happen. It's another road game in the divisional round. It's wide open. Do I think they're the best team in the NFL?
I do.
I do.
Okay.
How big is the gap between them and everybody else? I don't think it's that wide.
No.
You got it wide.
I do. I haven't seen nobody fooling with the Rams, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, that's the beauty of disagreement in sports television.
Talk to the Carolina Panthers.
Your Pittsburgh Steelers tonight got to stay ahead of the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie.
I know.
I'm a little nervous.
A little sweating. Aaron Rodgers, I guess it's casual Monday in Pittsburgh, getting ready to take on the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, Willie, playing well. Is that sweat on your brow? You nervous for this game?
Yeah, they've been on a heater, man, and they've gained momentum, and they got some, they're playing with a little edge. And bottom line, we know the Steelers all season have been god-awful against the run. The Dolphins can run the ball.
They've been great running the ball recently.
Great running the ball. They're averaging, 4.9 a pop. So for me, it's without T.J. Watt, defense is already shaky. Aaron Rodgers has to shoulder it. He has to be big tonight for us.
This is simply a game you can't lose if you're the Steelers. Like, there's a large amount of pressure on Aaron Rodgers and his offense to get it done because T.J. Watt's not going to be available. That defense possibly will look a little different. They're going to turn the ball over. That's what they do.
Right.
You have to put the ball in the end zone if you're Aaron Rodgers in this offense and get it done. Win against a team win the games that you're supposed to win. This is when they're supposed to win.
The AFC North is just weird.
It's
just weird. Like, Joe Burrow just got shut out. The Ravens dominated them, but didn't look
great.
How is it an unimpressive shutout?
Yeah, you don't know if it was Lamar, if it was just a bad Bengals defense.
And now you've got a Ravens team or a Steelers team that still has Aaron Rodgers standing at this point in the season. He's been pretty good, but we don't trust their defense to stop the toughness of the Miami Dolphins. Like, up is down, left is right. Our pets' heads are falling off. What's going on? What's going on?
The Steelers need this one, like Greg said, man. This is an opportunity to stay ahead, man.
Yeah.
Can't lose it.
Well, we'll be watching $26,000 worth of sides. Rest in peace, Rob Reiner. We'll watch the game. Be back tomorrow.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.